Hey everybody, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I told you, I think on Monday or Tuesday, that I would have a Thursday video to share with you the Halloween October daily story. And this is it. I am wrapping up October daily with this project, and then I'll share a walkthrough. So for this project, I am mainly using Ali Edwards' fall kits from the Stories of the Season, the free kits that came once you got the class, and also the Halloween kit. And I'm starting off this whole big insert and story of the day with the start of the day, of course, taking my kids to school and also getting some photos of my daughter and her friend. I decided to use this fun script paper to make a spider border, but when I folded the paper in half, the paper was really thick and it wasn't going to punch double-sided or combined like that. So I had to do one side at a time, and then I could put it over the edge. I don't know if it turned out exactly how I thought, but I still liked the cool spider web effect and a fun way to kind of repeat this spider border at the end of the album when I did it at the beginning of the album. I'm going to go ahead and use my glue pen to kind of glue it onto the cardstock, and then I will go ahead and staple it as well, just to make sure. Otherwise, I probably could have used the double-sided tape. Once I have that on, I'm going to go ahead and grab my photos and decorate the front with the photos. I have this one of my kids and I just kind of hold the phone down low. And then I use this fun card with the cat and the witch hat and the pumpkin. That way I could do a flip up for my son and his, outfit. He was Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer player, but I also found a really great photo of him, the 8th graders high-fived all the little kids, and it was the coolest photo ever, and a mom on Facebook shared it, and so I just grabbed it, and I'm going to use it, because my son and his friend were talking about it on the way home, about how they may not see the significance of the big kids high-fiving the little kids, but because they were like, man, my hands were hurting from getting slapped so hard. But I think it's really cool that the big kids did that for the little kids, because I know that the big kids, or the little kids, look up to the big kids. We have such a fun school. It goes K through 8th. I am doing some embellishing, and I did so good, and now I'm going to flip over to the back side and include the photo of my daughter in her Pokemon costume along with her friend, who was also a Pokemon. My daughter was Sobble, and then her friend was Grookey. And now I have that insert all done, and I can move on to kind of the main event, where I had this awesome photo of some decorations on the lawn, and I was so proud of myself. I felt like a professional photographer. Same thing with this idea. Goodness, I felt so smart. I could not find my ribbon. I didn't know where it was. So I went ahead and grabbed some washi, folded it in half, and then I could use it like ribbon, almost like faux ribbon. And once I folded it in half, of course, you didn't have the adhesive, and then I just used my scissors to kind of thread it through, and then made a ribbon looking portion and stapled it up at the top. And I was able to use that really fun tag about when witches go writing. I'll pair it with a wood veneer ghost and also a die cut that says October 31st. Just a small little, well, not a small, but a big cluster up at the top, but it's still not going to take away from the photo. And then there's a small one at the bottom that says trick or treat with a little trick or treat pail. So I really love how that came together, and I just love how this photo came together. My iPhone, I have a 12, takes really good night photos, as long as you just wait a few seconds, because it'll tell you hold still, and it does really good with night pictures, and I love that. So the next little section is getting a photo of my kids together. I tried in the morning, but the teenager was not on board with it, so I was not happy with him. I'm like, you made some sort of weird face in every single one of my photos, so you owe me, buddy. And so we got a photo before we left. I also wanted to try this new page protector I got from Scrapbook.com, where it has the 4 vertical 3x4s, but then it has an attached flap that has 2 additional 3x4s. So I'm going to go ahead and use that and just switch a bunch of things around, so that way I can make sure I include all the photos and also make a few journaling cards with the different pieces of the kit. So I decide on the photo of the kids next to This is Halloween, which is another piece from the Stories of This Season class. And then below that, I'll have my daughter and her friend getting ready to trick or treat, along with a little cluster of embellishments. I decided on Which Way to the Candy and then a ScrappinHappyStudio flair and one of those really awesome, I think they're chipboard, no, wood veneer, I don't know. But they're really cool and they're from the Halloween kit from Ali Edwards and I love them. They're thick and they're glossy and they're just so much fun. So I have everything adhered down and I can start to work on my journaling. I wanted to journal about how each of my kids were kind of going to do their own thing this year, which was totally awesome with me, and it worked out fantastic. My son didn't know quite what he was going to do or if he was going to trick or treat, but it totally worked out to where he got to bring a friend home, and then they got to play video games and have pizza, and he was able to convince his friend to go out trick or treating, so that was really cool. And then my daughter was so brave and went out trick or treating with her best friend together with her little brother and her mom. And I was so thankful for her mom to take my daughter, and it was just all around a fantastic night for both my kids and myself, because I got to take the teenagers around and they were easy and hilarious in the comments that they said. And also just getting to watch the teens like be so polite and like thank you and say hi and were so kind to everybody. It was just a great night, such a fantastic night. And I got to see all the cool decorations and take a bunch of cool photos because the spot that my son picked around, our neighborhood, in a different location he picked, we just drove there. It's a couple miles away. It was a really cool place with a lot of great decorations. So I made this card with the diamonds and a die cut that says "What a Scream," and then I just paired it with a little word phrase. And now I'm going to go to the back where there's going to be some more photos of my son and his friend and all the different decorations that I took. I also am going to insert 2 photos of decorations on like a traveler's notebook insert. I loved that more candy die cut, but I wasn't sure where to put it, but I'm going to figure it out in just a second because somebody included a candy chute. Reminded me of 2020 because in 2020, a lot of people use these candy chutes. So it's still really cool. And I decided to put the more candy right above the candy chute, and I'll bump up that mummy photo and also include the Halloween journaling card that was also from the Stories season kit. So I'm just trying to see what I need to make over on the other side of the insert, and I decide to take one of the photos from like my evening and include it on the section with my daughter and her photos, because my daughter's friend's mom, she was so kind and she took a bunch of photos because I asked her, I said, can you please make sure to take some photos? And she did, and so that's mainly the photos that I used on there. And so I just put one photo of the decorations that I took on that insert. That way everything balanced out. Okay, so back to this insert. I figure out where I want to put things, and the more candy is going to go above that candy chute, and I used another one of those really fun glossy chipboard things with a house on it. I used that one, and then I put a little die cut banner above my son and his friend. It says "A Ghoulish Great Halloween," and I also got a really great photo of my son in the bottom left corner on the bottom left on the second pocket page. I told him that Grandma really wanted a photo, and he was actually willing to take this photo. I just love when that happens. But again, with teenagers, it's just a roller coaster. You never know what's going to happen. If it's going to be yes or no or a mad face, you never know. So I just talked about the candy chute and how these 2 teenagers were just so excited to get candy and see how big they could fill up their bags of candy. And my son's friend was like hoping that it would turn into like a weight so he could do some body weight stuff. It was funny. It was too funny. I added some double-sided tape to these two embellishments. I took another ScrappinHappyStudio flare and I put it in for the O, like a star orange one. Thought that that would be a fun touch. And I'm just about done with this spread. I just have to figure out if on the right-hand side, if I'm going to use cardstock. I thought I was going to use cardstock, but then I remembered that I have two photos of the kids looking at their candy once they both got home. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of like just copy paper and put it on the back of this photo since I didn't want to take the time to remove the adhesive. So I've got all the photos on there, and then I can add in the really cool photos of the decorations. I thought that that one, the wolf one, was going to go on the top, but then I remembered that it's supposed to go on the bottom. So I guess the corpse bride, I guess that's what it's called. She's going to go on the front, and then on the back is the werewolf. And I just have to trim off that edge, and I come back and then grab the werewolf, and it's going to go right in the middle of the Halloween insert. And then I can go ahead and put it into the album. And that is going to wrap up Halloween. October went by so quickly, and I just love how this album came together, and I totally gave myself a break and took a lot of the pressure off by doing 13 stories and just kind of focusing on that that aspect and that kind of like point of my direction for this album was 13 stories. So it worked out fantastic. All right, so I'm flipping back to the beginning so I can show you, and I thoroughly hope that you have enjoyed seeing my Halloween come together and see my October daily come together. Like I said, I will do a walkthrough next week. I hope you've enjoyed. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. All right, have a great day. Bye.